Well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited that you guys are here, and I'm just so grateful that we have some guest speakers today. And it's just really fun to be able to be involved in the healing community. And all of us here just really want to just raise the vitality of this world. And that just makes me so excited because it is brings such joy to my heart when we can do that. And we're all working towards that goal. So thanks for coming in today. I really appreciate it. So I'm Jody Colegrove, and I'm a health and healing coach, and I use muscle testing and energy medicine, and I use a modality called quantum techniques, and I also do a little bit of EFT also, but to help people get their health and happiness back. And there's just so much you can find out, discover, and learn from those modalities that the world is just an open book to learn and to know how our bodies work, how they heal, and what's maybe going wrong with them so that they're not working up to their fullest potential. And so that's what I do using muscle testing. And so I've been glad to meet so many more people that are also on that same journey. And so several of them are today. And so we have some guest speakers of Dr. Darren Weissman and also Ellen Welk and many others, like Sonia's here too. So it's just neat to have everybody here. So but we work on everything. And so I wanted to introduce Dr. Darren Weissman first. He is a holistic, and I'm really bad at reading, but I'll do my best. So hang in there, guys. So he is a chiropractor, holistic physician, and he has developed the Lifeline technique. And I've enjoyed listening in on several of his Lifeline techniques that he's done. It's really been fun to be able to add some of his techniques to kind of what I do to help clients. And so it's really fun to learn all the different modalities out there. He is a best-selling author with Hay House, and he's published The Power of Infinite Love and Gratitude, Awakening to the Secret Code of Your Mind, and The Heart of the Matter. And he also has a children's book, which I think is exciting too, because they need to be brought along into this healing journey too. So that's just a couple of other things. And maybe Darren, if there isn't more things that I've covered, that you can cover those. And Ellen, I met her through kind of the internet in raising and breeding healthy golden retrievers that are done naturally. And that's just, and she also does some coaching and helping with people with lifestyles, and just kind of uses her dogs to help people know how to be healthy. And so it's like almost like if we're willing to treat our dogs with health, we should be treating our bodies the same way. And I think people sometimes forget that. And I always found it's been interesting that you can kind of lead people along the health journey because they're so interested in their pets being healthy. You can lead them into the health too. So it's a good way, an open door for that. So Darren, why don't you go ahead and tell us more about you and why we're all here today?
Well, I believe that we're here because we're going to share an incredible technology that I was introduced to 6 years ago called Redox. It is a unique substance that's produced in all of our bodies that I'm very excited to share with you. It has had a massive impact on my own health, my family, and I've shared it with thousands of people as a result. So I'm excited to talk about this. So we're gonna take a deep dive into the nature of natural healing and how to do it in a safe, effective, and actually quick way for beautiful kids. Mindy, I love that your son's here. For kids and for animals and for anything that has a cell, this is effective. So I'm gonna share my screen. I want to go through a couple slides just to create a basis and an understanding of what we're talking about and create a vision of what's possible and see if this is something that you might already know about or maybe it's brand new. And if it resonates, how you potentially might desire to use this for yourself or your family. So thank you so much, Jody, and thank you all of you for this opportunity of sharing one of my passions. The Lifeline technique is a driving force. Any way that I can help people create change naturally is, I find, to be the single most important thing that we could ever learn to do, especially in our world today. So I'm going to share my screen. And can you see this? So we're going to supercharge our health. Who would like to supercharge their health right now? Give me one of these. This means I love you in American Sign Language, and the journey of healing is a journey of love. So this beautiful boy is a dear friend of mine's son. He was at school in Australia, in Sydney. They've got big spiders there. One of his classmates thought that there was a big spider near him, picked up a rock, threw it at him, and hit him in the face, bloodied up his lip. And his mama and I were rushing there to get there because they weren't sure how bad it was. It wasn't horrible, but he was bloodied up. We put this redox technology gel on his face, and literally within 15 minutes, the inflammation and pain had changed, and the scared, overwhelmed look went to happy and eager wild man again. So we're gonna dive on into a true scientific breakthrough that will help you have a deeper understanding of healing, but also the process of disease. And to look at it, to me, at the most foundational level, and that is from a cellular perspective. We are trillions of cells, and the health of our cells is the health of our life. How our cells communicate, how they function, directly influences our ability to deal with all kinds of stress. Those of you that are athletes influence your resilience and recovery, influence your immune system, and ultimately activate anti-aging and keep youth at its most vibrant, glowing, optimal state. This is life. This is what life is all about. We are all healing from something, but there's something inside of us that drives us towards the light. And right now, I'd imagine if you just take a deep breath with me and you let go, you acknowledge, why is it that you're here? Maybe because Jody asked you, and you're like, all right, I love Jody, I'm gonna show up. But maybe there's something going on in your body. There's an aspect of your own health or someone in your life that you didn't realize that you were showing up for, as far as this conversation and dialogue, so that you can grow and move through the challenges that you're currently facing. Here's the fact. We're designed to regenerate. Every cell is designed to regenerate, from the bones in our body to our brain, to our liver, to our stomach. Our genetics are constantly in a state of regeneration. But the obvious question that you want to ask yourself is, if we're constantly in a state of regeneration, what's up with my knee that continues to swell? How come I have a hard time eating particular foods and I react allergically? You know, what is it about my immune system that causes this cancer, autoimmune, hormonal imbalance? And that's what we're going to tap into, because the reality is every single cell in your body, in my body, is designed to heal, regenerate, and be whole. So we all experience stress, and stress has all kinds of consequences. And in our world today, and I made this PowerPoint a long time ago, these statistics are BS today, because stress is at a whole other level right now. It's a whole other level as far as the world that we live in and how that influences us in so many ways. So I want to take you on a little trip. And about 6 years ago, I've been in practice for almost 30 years. About 6 years ago, a dear friend of mine, this very fiery Israeli woman, she lives in Toronto. Her name is Ahuva. Ahuva in Hebrew means love, and she's a love bug. She's a passionate, fiery woman. Her daughter was diagnosed with rogue cells in her blood. Her cells had mutated. Medically, they had recommended chemo and radiation. Everyone has side effects to that, but the side effects were so great that the treatment was worse than the disease itself. So she couldn't do the treatment. So she was introduced to this redox technology. She just celebrated her 50th birthday about 5 weeks ago. So that was over 6 years ago. And this technology is profound at enhancing what our body is naturally designed to do. So Ahuva reached out to me and said, Darren, you need to understand this technology. You need to understand it. I'm sending you all this information. So she sends, I'm not doing an Israeli accent very well. I don't know what kind of accent that was at all. But anyhow, she sends me this information. But fortunately, she sends me 4 bottles of this stuff and 2 tubes of this stuff. And I start using it. And I noticed instantaneous change. Within 3 days, there was a different level of clarity, focus, sleep. I didn't have a loss of clarity or focus. I'm an Energizer bunny rabbit. I'm at the leading edge. I'm like proactively living my life, and I have for a long time. So it's like someone would say, yeah, I think you're dim and you're light and you're foggy. I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm open to it. I always want to learn. So, but I noticed the difference, and it was significant. And it was massive change as far as myself. It was a massive change for my family, but I was skeptical because the company is a direct marketing company. I'm like, oh man, I'm like, why do they make it a direct marketing company? I'm like, I don't know this company. I'll use this product. So I used it for myself. And I'm about to show you a graphic image. If you've got a weak stomach, just don't look at it. We live in Chicago. It's nice weather now, but in December and January, it's cold and it's icy. And my wife was carrying her keys in her hand. She slipped and the keys plunged into her palm. And we needed to go to the emergency room. And so these are keys in her palm. We're in the Highland Park Hospital. And they shot her up, they pulled it out, and they're like, you got damage, you go see a specialist, and gave her pain pills, antibiotics. She took 1 antibiotic, she forgot to take any others, because we're just not pill poppers. She never needed a pain pill, because all we did is we swished it with this liquid, and we put the Renew 28 on her hand. And in 5 days, it looked like it was a cat scratch. And she had full range of motion. We had just moved into a new house, and she was able and capable of doing the work that it takes when you move into a house. So that was amazing. We had different things that happened along the way. I used to have blue hair, all right? And I don't anymore. It's not because of redox. It's because I was at a costume party. And if you look a little bit closer, though, look underneath my left eye. Look at that mark on my left eye. Actually, there's a mark on my left eye and there's a mark on my right eye. Both of those don't exist anymore because of this gel. It has transformed the cells in my body so that they could repair and replace themselves. In a way, in almost 30 years of practice, I've never seen anything naturally without consequence do for my body. So I was still skeptical in moving forward and sharing it because I didn't know the integrity of the company. And it's not about ego, but I'm just out in the world. I'm an author. I teach. My practice is in the Lifeline technique is in over 24 countries around the world. And I didn't want to be involved in something that potentially might have like an Amway type of feel to it. And so I didn't until I saw a testimonial. And the testimonial was of this guy who was a tick burrowed into his body and his nervous system went downhill fast. He went from a strong dude to an emaciated dude and wasn't capable to work, wasn't capable to show up, and was barely ambulatory. Well, I had a client who had become a dear friend. I'll let the cat out of the bag. Her name is Ellen Welk, and she, in my picture, is right below me. She had the same situation going on. And I love Ellen. She's an amazing human being. And so I was helping her. She'd do good, she'd do bad. She'd do good, she'd do bad. We're the same age. So this is 5 years ago. And she was seeing a wheelchair in her future. And I'm like, I'm not going to even sell it to her. I'm going to buy it for her. So I bought her 4 bottles. I bought her 2 tubes. I told her what to do. We got a little controversy as far as what happened or not. She used it in her own way. I love it. She didn't detoxify. It's fantastic. And after 6 days of being on the product, she went from seeing a wheelchair in her future to riding a bike almost 7 miles. The next day, seeing if it was a fluke, woke up the next day, heard God inside that said, go for a bike ride again, rode a bike over 11 miles. And at that point, I'm like, roll up your sleeves, D. It's time to get serious. And I flew out to Utah. I went to the FDA manufacturing distribution plant. I met the scientist who stabilized it. I love him. Brilliant, amazing, inspiring. Will win the Nobel Prize at one point. I guarantee it. And I met the CEOs and presidents of the company. And now I love everything about it. So now on a Wednesday, we're talking about redox, which I never thought I would ever be doing. But here I am. And now I'm actually on the medical board of the company. It is pristine. So I want to just talk to you about some basic things here. I'm going to talk to you about a liquid that helps your body communicate from the inside out, and a gel that works from the outside in. This is advanced technology. This is Star Trek technology. It is very unique. It's cutting edge, and it's really something that is not like anything else that you might be using. There's a lot of good stuff out there. And I know a lot about nutrition, and there's a lot of good stuff out there. There's nothing like this, and I want to share with you why. Sometimes when something's a brand new idea, like something's original, you got to say what it isn't before you say what it is, because you got to how do I compare this to anything? So this is not a vitamin. It's not a mineral. It's not an essential fatty acid. It's not an antioxidant. It goes beyond nutrition. It goes beyond the ingredients. It is a vibrational frequency that is captured in a liquid, in a gel, that enables your cells to communicate to create life. The word redox actually means life. And it's a combination of two words, reductive and oxidative. I'm not going to go too deep into it, but these processes of reduction and oxidation, inflammation, rusting goes on in every cell of the body. And in the proper balance of these redox molecules impact our health at a depth that no supplement in the world can do. And there's some really great things. Like I watched a great video about vitamin D today. Hey, so brilliant. And everyone really needs to be using vitamin D, especially during the winter. But this is nothing like that. It enhances communication cascades that influence. We hear about cytokine storms, inflammatory storms. It enables the inflammatory process to happen, but it also tells the inflammation when to stop. And that's all redox. That's all redox for that to occur. So this is a cellular signaling supplement. So as you're breathing, how does that happen? Cells. As you're hearing, how does that happen? Cells. You got 100 trillion cells in your body right now. They're hustling and bustling. They're doing their gig. They got mojo. I hope they got mojo, right? I hope they're communicating, because when they are communicating, then we feel and we heal in extraordinary ways. So I want you to imagine something that is a horrible thing to imagine, but imagine your house was on fire. Infinite love and gratitude to that. That would suck. And we would want to make sure that if our house was on fire, we had the ability to use our cell phone, and that our cell phone had a really good cell signal. You notice the play on words, a cellular signal, so that I could reach what? The people that know how to put out the fire. So if I don't have a good cell signal, then the call doesn't get to the fire truck. And then the people that know how to do this job don't get there. And the most important things in my life are destroyed. Well, your body, your heart, your joints, your brain, your gut has inflammation in it. It always does on one level or another, right? But when it does, based upon a lot of different reasons, we want to make sure that the cell signal is high enough, because when it's high enough, then the proper nutrients, vitamins, minerals, oxygen, waste products move away can happen, all because of cell signaling. It's what it's all about. So you've heard of it's organic, it's natural. That's awesome, and that's important. This goes to a whole other level of class, and that is that this is native. What do I mean? What I mean is my body is not naturally producing vitamin D. It's not naturally producing vitamin C. It's not naturally producing these aspects of our body. Our body inside of our cells produce redox molecules. Every cell produces them. And so this picture of a cell on the screen right here, inside of every cell are these little organs. They're called organelles. And one of these little organelles is called the mitochondria. And the mitochondria is a unique part of the cell that takes oxygen from water, and it produces energy called ATP, adenine triphosphate, and ADP. So salt water, every cell in our body has salt water in it. The mitochondria uses salt water to produce the ATP. The byproduct of this natural native process of every cell is redox cell signaling molecules are produced. So there's a lot of science on this. There's over 15,000 peer-reviewed articles, 1,200 books published. There's a lot of information. Every system in the body is influenced on one level or another, directly and indirectly, based upon the production of the right amount and right balance. We call it functional balance. When there's a proper functional balance of redox, we're doing good. We got a good thing going on. So it is the key to regeneration, rejuvenation, renewal from a cellular perspective and throughout the entire body. So I'm going to be 53 on April 24th. I can't believe it. It's wild. When I was younger, I'm like 53, that's an old man. We all age. Does anybody have a perfect diet? No. Does anybody have any stress in their life? Other people, right? No, everyone does. And all kinds of stress, from stress in our own emotions to stress in what's going on in the world to electromagnetic frequency, environmental kinds of stress. There's all kinds of stress. When there is stress, when there is aging, when there is toxicity, the cells in our body, the mitochondria, do not produce the functional balance of redox cell signaling molecules. And that affects cellular function. And as a result, that red blood cell that replenishes itself every 128 days, every 120 days, the skin cell that replenishes itself every 28 days, the liver that replenishes itself every 3 months, the lung cell that produces itself every 10 to 14 days, all of a sudden, it's not doing its job. And then you feel it, you see it, you experience it. It becomes a part of something like that's redox at its foundation. So everyone thought it was impossible to actually produce these outside of the body. Why, you might think? And that's because these molecules are so reactive. They're so reactive. So the moment they get produced, guess what? They get used up. Right when they get produced, they get used up. So how do you stabilize that? Well, welcome to the world of quantum physics. So they used a unique quantum technology called nanotechnology, and they stabilized redox cell signaling molecules outside of the body. A lot of research, a lot of money, a lot of patented technology. It is unique, extraordinary. I feel grateful to be in the know of this, but there's certain things that I'm not even allowed to say, being on the medical board, just as an NDA, because this is the secret sauce. This is the unique process in which they create something that they are the only company in the world that has created this unique technology. And they made the impossible possible. They stabilized them. And now, through this 3-step process, which you remember the picture a couple slides back of the cell and that it had salt water in it? So these really smarty pants doctors and scientists took pristine salt water, which is what? Sodium, chloride, hydrogen, oxygen, and they pulled it apart. And then they brought it back together with that unique nanotechnology, and they created what is native to the body, redox cell signaling molecules that are stabilized, that you can drink, 100% safe. No matter your age, No matter if you're pregnant, doesn't matter if you're on medication, it cannot interact in a negative way. It will only enable your cells to work more efficiently. That's just the deal of it. Helps the system work more efficiently. So this is from the inside out, and this is from the outside in, the gel. And they are the only company that do it. I was just in Vail skiing with some friends, and I hadn't been skiing in 8 years. And the last time I skied, I was like, oh my God, I couldn't walk for 2 days. And I was going to be skiing for 3 days while out there. My friends have this great place, it's just 3-story place. And I was at the bottom floor, and there was no bathroom down there. And I was thinking, oh my God, the middle of the night, I'm gonna have to get up and go to the bathroom upstairs. I'm not gonna be able to walk up the stairs. So you know what I did. I was chugging Redox, chugging it in the morning, chugging it while I was skiing, chugging it. I had 0 lactic acid buildup. I had complete recovery. Complete recovery. It was so cool. I've got so many experiences and stories like that. The product itself is evaluated by an independent laboratory called Bioagilitics. Bioagilitics is a company that all pharmaceuticals use, companies like Bioagilitics, to make sure that what's in the product is in the product. So if something is an antibiotic, if something is whatever it might be, that this, for a pharmaceutical company, they make sure that that's what's in it. That's why some supplements are looked at as bogus, because they say it has this, but it doesn't. And that's why you want to work with reputable companies. This company goes beyond to make sure that not only the redox truly are in there, but they have created a laboratory and a manufacturing plant that is FDA approved. They don't need an FDA approved manufacturing plant, but they've created it in that way. They've crossed their T's and they've dotted their I's to create a completely safe, non-toxic, effective product. I want to explain this one part, and then I want to just jump on into some questions and talk about some things. They did a double-blind placebo research, and they did a double-blind placebo research to evaluate the effectiveness of this product. They had 3 groups. They had a group that was taking 4 ounces of the liquid redox, ASEA redox, a group doing saline, because that's what it is before it becomes redox, and a group doing nothing. And they evaluated 5 genetic markers. They evaluated 5 genetic markers. They evaluated genetic markers for the immune system. And by the way, 50 million Americans suffer with autoimmune disease every year. They evaluated genetic markers for inflammation. 54 million suffer with some kind of inflammatory disease. You know anybody with inflammatory disease, immune disease? They evaluated the genetic marker for cardiovascular health. You know anybody with cardiovascular challenges? They evaluated the genetic marker for digestion. 57% of the US population suffer with some kind of digestive challenge. And they evaluated the genetic marker for hormone function and balance. 80% of women suffer with some kind of hormone imbalance. And they found, after 8 weeks of being on the product, every person that used 4 ounces twice per day of the redox had all 5 genetic markers positively switched on by up to 31%. Positively switched on by up to 31%. Obviously, the people that did saline and the people that did nothing, their genetic markers didn't change. Every person. So you are influencing the body from a genetic and epigenetic perspective. You are turning the switch on. It's amazing. I got a really dear friend. Her name is Dr. Carrie Jacobson. She's a fellow chiropractor, kinesiologist, and an awesome all-around badass woman and just powerhouse leader. And she reached out 2 days ago because one of her clients, their child had burned his hand really bad. And like, hey, do you have any extra Renew 28? You have any extra of that gel? And we're like, absolutely. Got it over him, got it on, had a horrible burn. Next day, you could barely see it. Regeneration. not just like funny moles, skin types of things, but you can target this liquid, this gel, over parts of the body, specifically over the thyroid. Now, under the guidance of their medical practitioners, caveat, I've gotten over a dozen people off of thyroid meds using focused application. The cells communicate, the body begins to repair, replace. So, we're not allowed to say it's against the law. So this does not treat, diagnose, or cure. It enhances cells to communicate so the body can do what? Do what it's designed to do. And this is native. So there's a lot to talk about, and I can go on, and I love it, but I just wanted to give a broad overview of what this is so that you can have an appreciation. And if anyone has any questions about what I've said or other things that they're interested in, I would love to answer those questions.
So does anybody have any questions? They can either raise their hand or, let's see here. So we have a question that came in from Amy about Lyme's disease.
Yes, I've had Lyme's disease for 16 years. How would this work for that? And the Lyme's disease has really affected the joints. It's caused a lot of spondylosis in my spine, hips, everywhere. It's affected thyroid, it's affected heart, it's affected nervous system. It's really messed me up for many, many years.
Blessings, Amy. I'm so glad that I'm talking to you right now. I'm so grateful. I'm going to back up and I'm going to remind you that I talked about a tick burrowing in the body that causes a ring around. And I saw a testimonial of a guy whose body was wrecked just like yours. And he transformed his life. And I bought the product for my dear friend who's next to me now. She was below. I was showing them the image before. Ellen had that tick-borne experience as well. And it changed her life.
And this has caused me to have it hit my vestibular system with vestibular neuritis. And so I've had vertigo to go with it for the last 16 years. Continue 4/7.
It's a lot. And I'll tell you, it's not about the name of a disease, because whatever the name of the disease, those are cells that are influencing vertigo, that are creating the inflammation in your spine, that are creating the different types of horrific challenges that you're going through. And God bless you. And I'm just seeing you healthy and whole. And I'm telling you, it's so important to understand what this is, discover what it is, look deeper. There is a private Facebook page that Jody can add you to called ASEA Healthy Self. Get on it, read some testimonials. There's almost 200,000 people on this page.
Wow.
It is mind blowing. And you will see people that have gone through what you are going through that have had a different outcome. And so here's the thing, you got to use it properly. And what I always tell people, Amy, is you start slow because your cells are going to turn on. And imagine this concept. Garbage for us goes out on Tuesday. And imagine the garbage didn't get put out for a week, a month, a year, 10 years, 20 years. And all of a sudden you go turn on the cells, you start drinking it, and the system goes, dump the garbage, boom. So you want to start where the system just starts slowly and confidently. I find if you start with 2 ounces twice a day, it's the perfect amount. It really is. 2 ounces twice a day, swish it in your mouth for 30 seconds, get it on the mucosal membranes. It tastes like swimming pool water. It's not the best flavor, but who cares? Who cares? Deal with it. Swish it, swallow it, not within 5 minutes of anything else, so you get the most absorption of it. And then after a week, go up to 4 ounces twice a day. And you want to find your sweet spot. Like if your system does detoxify at 4 ounces, go back to 2 ounces twice a day. Stay there for a little bit longer. I know of another person who had rogue cells in a horrific way. You know what I'm saying when I say rogue cells. So in a horrific way, their family bought this woman 56 bottles of ASEA. and she drank 1 bottle every single day. She had horrible detox. But it totally transformed her experience. So, there's no reason to have a horrible detox. You do not have to push it, but you might at some point, Amy, be drinking a half a bottle a day. You might. I've drank 2 bottles in a day at one point, but you'll start slow, you'll get it going, you'll wake up your system, and you'll know when your light switch goes on. You'll know when the cytokine storm begins to shift and the system starts to turn it down. You'll know it. It's so interesting. I don't know when I'm taking vitamin E if it's actually doing anything.
Right.
I don't know, but I hope I spend so much money on supplements. I don't really know. I don't hardly take any other supplements anymore. I used to take a ton of them. This is my primary go-to. Every once in a while I'll do a gut type of a spore-based probiotic, and every once in a while I'll do an essential fatty acid, but otherwise it's food's my medicine, and hydration and good sleep and exercise and things like that. And love, that's the nutrition. Right. So, but that's you targeting particular areas with the gel, Amy, will be significant for you. But the key is, let this be the beginning of education. Let this be the beginning of education, and check out the ASEA Healthy Self page. Get some questions. If you have more questions, we'll answer them for you, and then we'll start to guide you in the process on how to use it. But what you're going through, I've witnessed a lot of people go through, and this is very unique for sure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I'm so excited for you.
Darren, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure I kind of have a sense what you're going to say, but do you have personal experience or people that use that, I guess, internally or gel for scar healings, skin healing after surgery?
Yes. Yes. So I had surgery on my abdomen a couple of years ago for an umbilical hernia. I put off the surgery for, hi dog. I put off the surgery for 10 years because I did not want mesh. I finally found a doctor out in New York. I live in Chicago. I flew out on a Wednesday, Thursday pre-op, Friday surgery, Saturday flew home. 11 days after surgery, I was in an Inferno hot Pilates class doing everything but burpees, applying the gel to my belly over and over again. It transforms scar tissue, adhesion, because it starts the real regeneration. People don't really regenerate in their body. People scar is what happens. The liver regenerates, but the body actually doesn't. And then that's what causes the degenerative cycle, because scar tissue does not conduct electricity, doesn't conduct chi, prana, life force. So this will revitalize that communication. And the key is just be aggressive with it. I was getting ready for bed in the bathroom. My partner looked at the back of my head. She's like, Darren, you got something gross at the back of your head. You need to go to a dermatologist, get it cut out, get it biopsied. And I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do that. And so I just put the gel on, every morning, every evening. I never missed it. Completely resorbed here, and here. But as far as scar tissue, the application, if you can bring it to the area, that's the key. I've got another woman with not quite I can't even say the disease. It's when people are having really horrible menstrual cramps and their endometrial cells form outside of the uterus. Well, this is another form of a conversation like that. She's actually using the gel intravaginally, and it's safe in anywhere. It's not going to hurt you. It's just more of unique application. So straight answer, yes, use it over scar tissue areas where there's been chronic inflammation or surgery, it's different things like that.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Darren, this is Jody. One thing that I've started doing is applying it to my underarms, just like deodorant to help, detoxify that. I've used it on my breasts to help, spots and just also keep it really, healthy. And then I've also started using it in my growing area. And I've noticed kind of a shift in my sexuality. So it's so many different ways to use a product that I just have been found fascinating. Besides, anytime I burn myself, on a pan, it's always like my absolute go-to, and it's like gone.
Cut, burn. It's like ER 911. It is so unique in how quickly it directly impacts. So,
and since seeing that here, I'll tell you also nothing. 2 nights ago, I was bit by a spider, like right up here. And so I put the Renew 28 on and then put DMSO to get it through the skin. And the knot has gone down incredibly. So that's another way to kind of get it into the skin even quicker.
awesome.
Another
else?
way,
Go ahead.
another way to use it too, just because this is so important, is you can put it in your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
And it feels amazing. And there's these fun little misters you can get that you can put it, and you can just get it right in your eye. It's wonderful. You can use it eye drops as well, or an eye wash, but it's phenomenal. I mean, it's that safe. And let's not forget our pets, because we can use it with our animals. I have so many animal stories. I've even used it with my fish and had great success. Like literally hold the fish, drop it into the sore on his head. And it took like 6 weeks, but it closed and it grew back. Otherwise it would have been a dead fish. It was like a cichlid, about 8 inches big. He's really, really awesome fish. To let me hold him to drop the ASEA, I just used an eyedropper.
You sent me a video on it. It was unbelievable.
I do. There's a video in ASEA Healthy Pets, which is another Facebook group if anyone's interested for their animals. But oh my gosh, it's real when you use it on your pets. You don't have that placebo effect. It's real. Like a couple of skin tags will come off my dogs, just like Darren said, on his face. Just incredible, and 100% native to the body.
Yeah.
So safe. It's so beautiful. I love it so much.
Amy.
In the eyes, did you use the gel or the liquid?
Liquid.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, there's a woman I've been working with. She's 81 and she wanted to give up on it because she was detoxing. And I told her, I said, no, you just got to stay with it. You just got to stay with it. You commit. I always tell people, commit to 120 days to find your sweet spot. And I had to talk her off the ledge 3 times. But one of the things was she had those floaty things in her eyes, horrible floaty things. Doesn't have floaty things in her eyes, right in your eyes. So what a fascinating thing. Yeah. Eduardo.
Hi, Dr. D.
Hey,
I was just wondering, have you noticed the effects of people on ASEA that are on an immaculate diet versus like the standard American diet?
An immaculate diet as far as?
Healthy fruits, vegetables. I mean, just whether if they're vegan or just eating fish, or just a really good diet, not the burgers and all this other bad foods.
Great question. I mean, here's the beauty of it. It is going to take anything you do and make that work more effectively, because it's just going to enable the cells to communicate and take that immaculate diet into the cells. So yeah, there's tons of people that are doing really proactive things and still not getting the kind of results that they really desire to get, and take it to another level because they activate the cell signaling potential within their body. So.
Thank you. I have a second question, a follow-up. Many folks here know about muscle testing, or they're into, how can that be incorporated as opposed to the instructions?
I mean, you can, if you're good at muscle testing, you can muscle test and go, need use. How much do I use of it today? And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ounces of it. You can do it in that way. Here's the thing about it. I just chug it. So I have a glass, and to me, and I've been using it for 6 years now, I fill it up, I put it in, I drink it all the way. I leave the last part. I swish it for 30 seconds. I swallow it. To me, redox is like pranayama for the cells. It's like, oh, should I do pranayama? Yeah, as often as possible, all day long. You should never not be doing pranayama. Like, oh, I'm only doing pranayama now. Like like on my yoga mat. Like, no, you do it all the time. And so the reality of this is, it's an interesting thing to muscle test, because the reality of it is, it just is something that always needs to be going on. Your cells need to be communicating. Now, someone early on, like I said, cells start to communicate and they're toxic, you can have a very significant detox.
Yep.
It's non-toxic, but you can have and it's good to detoxify. We all go on these detoxification programs. This is cellular detoxification. So you just want to ramp it up properly, find your sweet spot, and then you'll find the liberty within to use it in whatever way just feels right for you. It'll be a breath of fresh air for your cells. So you can definitely muscle test it, but I'm a muscle testing machine. It's like, I live my life that way. My kids make fun of me like, Dad, what are you testing now? Like, but I just consume it. Because some people, I want to answer this too also, because some people go like, their system might be toxic. And so as a result, their system might say, hey, you're toxic, you don't need it. And that's not true. That's not true. You need to detoxify your system. So it could create an interesting muscle reflex test response with people. The reality is, I find it tests for everyone. And the key though is just to start and then ramp up, use it effectively.
And sometimes the key is to ask the right question too, if you want to get really specific. So how much can I tolerate? So it's a, when you first start out, it might be a tolerating type of question to ask, because our body's always going to say yes to it, because it's just what we need. It's the signal of life. So it's always there. Yeah. But it's kind of interesting to play with that. Yeah, Darren, there was another question,
and then I literally have 6 minutes, and then I have a hard stop because I have another meeting. So I want to answer whatever questions you have. So
there was a question in the chat. Do you stop your supplements during the program?
No, you don't have to. I mean, I did actually, just because I was just tired of taking so many supplements, and I wanted to experience it. But the reality is that you don't have to. You can continue to take supplements, and don't make it just depends upon the person. I can't, it depends upon the person. I want to know the full spectrum of what the heck's going on to guide properly. But I found for me, and I find for a lot of people, that you don't end up taking the 25 different supplements, twice per day, that you're taking less and your system's using it more effectively, and you can then have a focal type of thing. But different people have different levels of degeneration that have gone on in their system. And so that might need some hand holding, to move through the process. But you can confidently stay on whatever medication you've been prescribed, whatever supplement you're taking. I got a guy in Kuala Lumpur, blood sugar metabolism challenge, where he needs medication, right? You know what that is. So 1 week, and his wife is a dear friend and student of mine. And they bought the big pack of it because they were using it like crazy. 1 week on it, his blood sugar numbers completely regulated, got off all medication under the guidance of the medical doctor. There's a gentleman whose name is Dr. James Watson. You might have heard of him. He was one of 2 people that discovered DNA in 1953. The guy's still alive. Guess what his research is all about these days? Redox. And his research has shown 4 major diseases are redox diseases. So cardiovascular, cancer, diabetes, and dementia are all redox diseases. Who do you know with this? And don't wait, like, be proactive. That's the beauty of this. This is leading edge technology. It's absolutely anti-aging. So any other questions? I hope this was valuable. I hope you found this really interesting and valuable, that it was refreshing, that I made it fun for you as well. I want it to be fun because healing can be fun. And I just love the opportunity to connect and share my passion. And if it can make a positive impact for someone like you and someone in your life, then we did really good today. And Jody, you're an angel for setting this up. I'm very grateful.
Darren, Mindy had another question.
Cool.
you can see it. I just read it for you, okay?
Mindy, yeah, go.
She says, for someone that has had a lot of difficulty detoxing, I understand starting out slowly, but is there something else to do before you start the program? Would this also support proper elimination?
Well, this is one of my favorite questions. We have these pathways in the body called emuncatories, and the emuncatories are detox pathways. And sometimes some people, these pathways are closed and they have the hardest time. And it doesn't matter what they do, they're like these hypersensitive beings. And no matter the smallest amount, they react in the biggest way. And there is a detox protocol that I do. I don't know how to teach it to people. It's just a complicated system of things that I've learned over the years of it, but it activates what's called, I call it the spirit memory index. It's a point right here that has to do with the pineal gland, and it's a point right here, the bladder 1 acupuncture points, and that opens the gate. And then there's a way of influencing the body, mind, or spirit, because which one's toxic. And then there's a way to drive the emuncatory pathways so that you that you eliminate through the digestive tract. I guide people through that. If that's going on with you and you resonate with me, then I would set up a session to do that, and it will help you if that's something that you desire. And if you have further questions, just feel free to ask. But that's a real deal thing, Mindy, and it's hard when you're in that. But I also feel infinite love and gratitude, and I just got to say it because maybe this will help. There's trauma there. So there's trauma when the system won't let go. And that's subconscious. And that's my specialty, is I help people in a beautiful, loving, compassionate, confident way go from post-traumatic stress to post-traumatic growth, deep resilience and confidence. Unique pathway for everyone, but I know if your emuncatories are locked down, that there's some level of trauma, and it might be from a past life or generational pattern 7 generations down the line, or something that happened in the womb, or something that happened in the primal developmental years or something, but those are tied together. And you're like, I can tell you're such a conscious woman, your heart's so open, and you are so ready to heal. And love is always the answer. It's always the answer. This is a deep dive into that gorgeous goddess heart of yours, and just expanding it, and just, reclaiming what has just been below the surface for you. Really is. I hope that's helpful.
Very much. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. I got to roll. This has been so much fun for me, and I hope it's been valuable for you. Sonia, I love seeing you. Ed, I love seeing you. Jody, each and every one of you. Ellen, you're the best. Have a great rest of your day, my friends. If there's anything else I can do, just feel free to reach out. I'll answer questions for anyone, okay?
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
me and Ellen are going to stay on just a little bit longer, and
Yeah.
just has to leave.
Cool.
So,
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
we'll stay on.
Awesome. Take
So
care,
thank
everyone.
you, Dr. D.
My pleasure.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye-bye. Bye, Amy. Bye, Mary Lou. Bye, Bruce. Bye, Donna. Bye, Katerina. Bye, Mindy.
all right.
Awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's incredible, you guys. He is such a dear man, and he truly cares. He truly cares. And this product has changed his life, and definitely mine as well. So there was a couple people asking about how to get it. This is a direct marketing company. It's just the way it's sold. And actually, I'm grateful that it is sold this way. It doesn't taste all that great, you guys. It tastes like swimming pool water. It's actually an olfactory sense. So it's your sense of smell that kicks in when it hits your tongue. But it is so extremely bioavailable. It like starts that chain reaction of cell signaling immediately when it hits your tongue. So it's fascinating. It doesn't taste all that great at first, especially. Your body will adapt to it as like after like a week. Some people prefer it cold. You don't have to keep it in the refrigerator. But some people like it cold, so it's fine. In fact, the ASEA can be heated up to 500 degrees and it won't lose its structure. It can also be frozen. So that's as long as you thaw it out before you drink it, just so you can drink it. That's a great way. And in fact, another use of using ASEA for people with prostate issues is that you can actually freeze it into small ice cube type trays, and you can insert it anally to help get that redox right there. You can also do colon cleanses with it too. It's super duper effective. It's also another great way to use it with animals, to use it rectally. So it's really fascinating. But as far as getting it, I suggest you hook up one-on-one with Jody or myself. There is an ordering process to take you through. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. It is $32.50 a bottle when you become an associate, which is really the best way to do it, because you'll get that wholesale pricing, and it's structured like the next level marketing type company. But like I said, I'm grateful it is that way because it's word of mouth, and we are here to help support you guys through your individual process. This is not like going to Walmart and buying it off the shelf and hoping it's going to work and being clueless as to how to use it. It's been such an expansive mind and heart opening experience for me because it is so safe. You can use it in your eyes. You can put it in your ears. My mom brushes her teeth with the Renew 28, right? Like there's so many ways to use it. We have a Facebook group. Our team has a Facebook group as well. I do most of the posting there. Dr. Darren and I run it, but it's all about supporting you through this process because some people might have a detox reaction. Some people might not. And just to be able to support, especially through the first few weeks, so that you can use this product most effectively. So the best way to do it is to come in, and there's a special deal for people who start out. You can buy a little bit more, which is what you're going to need. So the $32.50 a bottle, when that's one bottle at that maintenance dose, like I had typed and you heard Dr. Darren talk about the 2 ounces AM and 2 ounces PM, one bottle will last a week. So that's why ASEA comes in a case of 4 bottles. So the price of that is $130 a month. That's the wholesale price. But when you consider potentially likely doubling it, especially for you, Amy, like if you've got something chronic going on for a long time, you want to start out slow, but then ramp it up. So you're going to need more than a case of it. And let me tell you guys, I mean, the price of it, and I'm just going to go there because it's not cheap, but you're supporting your body. This is real cellular healing. This is supporting it in a positive, like natural way by adding these redox molecules to help that cell get the clarity, healthy cell reproduce, unhealthy cell leave the body. It's that simple. There is nothing else on the planet like this. Everything else is toxins, right? Or you're taking vitamin E hoping for the best, right? And vitamin D hoping for the best. Do you have a question, Amy?
Or you saw my cabinet filled with all the supplements that I spend probably $1,200 a month on, and I'm functioning, but I'm not living, if that makes sense.
Yes,
I function, I get up, and I'm exhausted when I get up, and I'm exhausted when I go to bed, and I'm exhausted throughout the day. And I take probably 100 pills a day.
Wow.
Trying to just stay exhausted at my exhausted level. So if I could replace that with this.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'll tell you, I've worked with a naturopath with a computer that will help to tell me like how much of each vitamin, mineral, homeopathy. Like I've worked with her for years, actually, before I knew this, but I have like my vitamin supplements of what my body needed has shrunk down to like 3 basic things.
See, and I'm a biofeedback practitioner, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
There you go. So you know what I'm talking about. And what I've found with ASEA, with myself, my husband as well, and a lot of other people, is that your body just begins to utilize the food in such a more effective way that you're eating. The cellular uptake of the nutrition is just there, so that you don't have to do all this supplementing. That's what I've personally found. So, and Jody, you've played around, in fact, why don't you share your story, Jody, with it, because you've been using it for now.
It's about 2.5 years now.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say 1.5 years, but
it may have been a year and a half. It's hard to remember, but yeah, in using it along with, the muscle testing that I do, I can muscle test and find out, hey, do I really need this product anymore? And so, yeah, I got my blood tested, and what I kind of was helpful for my blood. And those tested okay, but I haven't had to do, all the big stuff. And so it really has made the herbs or the vitamins I take to be more helpful.
Yeah.
What I loved about it is it just feels like I have supported my overall health. So I last year I learned how to run. I would never, ever call myself a runner. And I don't have any issue. I'm just like, okay, I'll run today, and it's like, wow. And so my recovery time of exercise and weightlifting and stuff like that is much just robust. What I also love is I sleep really well, and then have energy, and it's not a fake energy like doing Red Bull or something like that. It's almost like just your body is at this natural. Yes, it's time to be alive now. Okay, now time to rest. And so that's the stuff I've noted. Like Darren was saying, he has a process for detoxing. At Quantum Techniques, we have a way for detoxing, and that's what we do. We muscle test. Okay, do you need to ease into how much ounces, or can you go to the full amount? If you can't go to the full amount, what do we need to do detoxing wise to help you along that process? And that's what I love about kind of the marriage of the two, is because I can really find out how to let the body accept it the best way it can and not have as much detox. I actually, in all the people I've tested, I've only found one person it didn't test good on. And it's because the code that I had just worked, or the session I had just done with them, their body needed to work on and digest. And then they tested it the next day, they could start it. So, so to me, that's why I support the product, because I have found it to be helpful on everybody. And it's just been awesome. And the number of stuff I've had it helped with, and it's some things it's surprising, it's like, like I said, I was putting it in my growing area, and I just noticed that I haven't gone into menopause yet. And that whole sexual field has really cleared up, but also things have come up for healing. And so it's almost like it's a natural kind of detoxer to help reveal what needs to be worked on that you may already be doing in your yoga practice and whatever practice you do. It kind of like brings it to the surface to be healed. And that's something that obviously I'm really in tune with, because that's what I do. But I don't think normal people know that, but I think that's just really exciting that you're doing something that's actually helping you grow and be more in depth. That's exciting.
Jody, I'm going to ask you something real quick.
Yeah.
Because I'm outside the US, for me it's not just ordering it. Money back guarantee doesn't apply to me, but I haven't used it yet, but I know you use it. So can I use you to test to you if that's good for me?
Yeah.
Just want to send you permission.
Yeah. And then, that's one thing I love about the ASEA is you can get it everywhere and internationally. And so a lot of times there's herbs and supplements I recommend for people for fungal issues. That is an awesome product. And it's similar to, ASEA, but you can't get it sometimes in Canada and overseas. And so this is a good way that you can still get the product and have the benefits of what we need.
Yeah, I can get it. It just cost me more to ship it, and I cannot return it. That's why I wanted to test it before. But yeah, I could get the original, nevertheless.
Yeah.
Different.
Sonia, where are you located?
I'm in the Dominican Republic.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Awesome. I love it. That's gorgeous there. I'm jealous.
She has this great I guess it's a Monday morning soul connection, and so she always just is so vibrant, and we just see her and all of her beautiful pictures every so often. So it's wonderful.
Well, that's great. So
in order to get on, I think a lot of the chats have said, how do we get information on the ASEA Healthy Self? You need to either like my Facebook page, which is Jody King Colegrove personal page, or like Ellen Welk's personal page, and then we can invite you to that group. And it's one of those things where it kind of just helps you go, oh, I hadn't thought about using it for that. And oh, that's a great idea, and then what I find is I'll have people that will say, gosh, such and such happened to me. And I'll go, oh, hey, here, you need to try this because I saw a post about such and such. And so it kind of helps you realize all the different ways that you can use it and some things that you just would never have thought of sometimes. So yeah, I find that exciting. And you know, for headaches, I put it where I have a headache, and then I add the DMSO, and that helps decrease, you know, the headaches, or a specific meridian point that you might for the gallbladder or kidney issue, and that will help.
Seriously, you guys, muscle soreness. I mean, this is what it is. I mean, you always want to shake the Renew 28 a little bit because there's silica in there, which gives it the gel. Otherwise, it's just redox molecules. But it's a clear gel. And I often would suffer from migraines, and it would start because of tension in my back, and I wouldn't really feel it until it would get up into my neck and then occiput. But if I feel a headache coming on, I will just like literally take a blueberry size amount, rub it on the back of my neck. And if you do that 3 times in 5 minutes, they actually call it 3 and 5, it will significantly relieve. It's not even relieving the pain. What it's doing is it's bringing circulation to the area, which the body knows how to relieve pain, right? So let's just equip the body with the right tools to bring circulation to that area and let that ripple effect actually go through the skin, because the 3 times in 5 minutes layers the molecules to help the silica actually pull it through the pores. But we know anything we put on our skin goes into our body, right? I think everyone here is like at that level of understanding, but it feels so amazing. So joint issues, muscle soreness, after workout, this product is used. Athletic people love this, even the horse racing industry, like, because there's anyone who competes even in athletics that has to take a drug test. This increases glutathione production and ATP production up to 800%. They've done the studies on that. It's amazing what it can do for performance. And like Jody was talking, oh my gosh, like you heard Dr. Darren skiing, no lactic acid. When I got back in the pool to swim, oh my gosh, I can swim lap upon lap upon lap, and my body just gives it to me. It's just so exciting, but you don't have that really weird sugar caffeine rush from these other energy type drinks. Like, this is the real thing. This is real healing. It's so beautiful. So as far as getting it, like, hook up with Jody to learn more about the cost. There's a promotional pack that has an initial one-time offer that you can order a little bit more and get started ahead of time. There is an auto ship, because what we want to encourage people is to use the product for 120 days. Like, if you want to just get a bottle to try it, like, I don't even do that anymore with people, because this is something that you're giving your body the tools to heal from a natural level, and that takes time. That slide that Dr. Darren showed, you know, your organs take time to regenerate. That's actually happening. We're supporting that and encouraging that to happen as if we were teenagers yet growing, because as we age, our redox molecule production naturally decreases significantly. So 120 days to be on the product, to give your body that time to shift whatever. And if you've got the chronic stuff going on, like I did, like Amy does right now, give yourself, like, make that commitment, both financially and habitually, to take it every day, to use it. And that's what's going to set you up for success. So
there's a couple questions that have come in.
Okay.
One from Mindy, and talking about a recommendation for MMS. And yes, this is a stabilized form of MMS. And so that's why I love it also, because of my son. He doesn't necessarily like to drink that, but he will drink this. And so that is a good alternative. So that's great. So yeah, I hope that answers your question there. And that's why it's better if foreigners can't get that. And so this is why they can get a ASEA outside of the States. It's really important.
Yeah, and there's no toxic level to this whatsoever. Like, that's already been done. Like, it's incredible. So, and so super safe and so effective. So what else?
Says so Amy said, is there a resource that shows all the uses for it? I know you have one about the Renew 28, but you may have a resource for the ASEA.
There's there's a guide that we can share with you guys. What would be the best way to do that? Just thinking, Jody, do you want to have people type in their name and email address, and then we could send up a follow-up with the information with the flyer and the usage ways. There's a sheet that is 33 uses for the spray bottle, because you can also use it as a spray for your eyes or sunburn. Oh my gosh, bug bite. There's just so many ways. So, but the spray bottle is fun. You can get these too. I think they're like $1. And then there's the 33 ways, and then there's 50 ways to use the Renew 28. But yeah, because we've named like probably 20 at least just in this webinar alone. But if it hurts, use it. Right? It's there's no place you can't use it.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
On the Facebook page, is there a document there that would have it, or can you just email it?
Well, in our team page there is, so, but you have to be friends with either Jody or I to invite into our team group. In the ASEA Healthy Self, I'm not sure there probably is. That ASEA Healthy Self group is strictly testimonials. It's so inspirational to read people's before and afters and pictures and blood work and just amazing, amazing life-changing stories in there. So if we have your names, we can definitely friend request you between myself or Jody so that you can get the resources that you want. You're all welcome to come into, I think you can, the Lifeline ASEA team Facebook page, I just typed it in, is also another, and I think I got a screenshot just so we have your name so we can connect, and then we can talk individually or however that works. But
and having your email address is going to be helpful for knowing how to connect and send for to know how to purchase a product and things like that. So yeah, if you could leave your email address, that'd be helpful. You can also email it me at Jody Colegrove. Sorry, Jody at quantumtechniques.com. That's another way to get the email. So,
and I will give you my email. It's ellenwelk@gmail.com. It's super simple. Or on Facebook, we can connect.
It looks like we have Eduardo's, we have Mindy's, we have Amy's, and we have Rob's. Yes.
Yeah. So if you want more information, please share there. Did we get everybody's?
Yeah, we're kind of coming to the end. I know we're kind of going over, so I appreciate everybody joining in today. And so just thank you. And I'm so grateful that you guys really are interested in your health, and we wanted to share with you this great product that we've been taking for a long time. And it's kind of those things that just kind of bubbles out of us sometimes because we just like it so much. Use it for so much stuff.
I know there's so much cool stuff to share about it. I'm so blessed. So
well, thank you for sharing it with all of us.
Yeah, just grateful that we had it all last year and staying really healthy. So I want to share more people. Definitely.
Yep. Sounds great, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Look forward to chatting more.
All right.
Have a wonderful, blessed day, everyone.
All right. Blessings.